Well, hello again, and welcome back to the Masterbooks podcast. Today, I've got Rachel Smith on. She's been a guest several times, and you probably already know her as Masterbooks Customer Service Manager. She is going to talk to us about the big sale that we just had, the Cyber Monday sale, and your shipments. She's also going to talk to us about things that Masterbooks offers that you can use during your Christmas break, and all kinds of things that will help you enjoy this season as you're getting ready for the next school year or the continuation of your school year. Little tips you can add into your life to make it special this time of the year for you and your children. So let's get started.
Welcome to the Masterbooks podcast, where we bring you conversations that will strengthen your biblical worldview and the faith of your family. I'm Jennifer White, publicist at Masterbooks, a division of New Leaf Publishing Group. As host of this show, I'll be opening the doors to the Masterbooks family library of books, authors, and curriculum. For over 45 years, our company has been about one thing: ink on paper to touch eternity. In a world increasingly at war with God, we are publishing to partner with you to disciple your family, the church, and the nations.
Hey, Rachel, welcome back to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you're with me today. We have lots of great things to talk about. As I said in the introduction, I want you to start out by telling everybody a little bit about our big Cyber Monday sale. And as the customer service manager, tell people what they all want to know. How soon might they get their shipment?
Well, it was our biggest sale ever in history for as far as number of sales for that short amount of time, and everything is on track as we expected for orders to be, and our goal is to have all of them shipped out by December 15th so that you will have them in time for Christmas. I know that it's hard to wait, especially when you're used to your orders coming in very quickly, like 1 to 2 days as far as being shipped out, but we haven't forgotten about you. The warehouse is working very hard, and the goal is December 15th, all orders shipped out.
I love that. You and I have both been around for big Christmas sales when there was a lot of angst about when they might get shipped. And our team has worked so hard, so diligently to bring order and to get things set up. And so even on the biggest sale that we've ever had in the history of the company, we are set to have everything delivered. And so I just want to send a shout out to Maddie and everybody in the warehouse and thank them for all the hard work that they're doing, and for Randy for leading the team so well. And thank you, everybody, for your orders during the Christmas sale or the Cyber Monday sale.
Yeah.
So I asked Rachel to come onto the show today because it's close to Christmas time, and perhaps you're going to take a break during the Christmas time so that you and your family can celebrate and you can have time to do the things you've been wanting to do for the season. But we have so many great resources that you can use during your break to keep your children not just entertained, but edutained, to keep them learning, to keep their minds going, and to create fun for them while they're on a break from school. So I asked Rachel to tell us about some of those resources that we offer in case you are looking for something fun for the next few weeks. So tell us, Rachel, what do you suggest?
Yes. One thing that I love, I'm going to show you on my phone here because I didn't have the book in front of me, is the book we have. And of course is The Work of Your Hand. I don't know if you guys can see that. And we do have it in digital, and I'm mentioning our ebooks because of the big sale and things. So you can get this in a digital format, and it's a great one to have, The Work of Your Hands. And it is just a cute little book for the younger elementary to learn about how God created them uniquely. And what a great time to learn about that as well, as we're celebrating Christ coming to earth and God giving us his greatest gift, but then also just to see how there's a precious gift in each of us, how he made us each individually. And so I love that cute little book. And then another one, if you do want education, yes. Which that one is education, absolutely. But if you want something more educational for maybe upper elementary and you're possibly studying our American history, if you're not using Meet the Chief, which goes through all of our presidents, and that one is $9.99 as an ebook. It's digital, and that's a great book to just pop in if you're doing America's Story
Mhm.
right now with our upper elementary, and to learn more specifically about each of the individual presidents. And so that's a good one. Then something that's more for junior high all the way up to adults is a book that I always often forget we even have these, but we have these little Quizzle
Oh,
books.
yes.
And they are little puzzles and word games and just a bunch of cute little brain exercises, honestly, that go through the first 5 books of the Bible. And so these are only $1.49 as a download, and they're great to print out. I was looking through them again this morning and thinking, why haven't I personally utilized these enough? But they're just really good. They also, I noticed, pop in a little bit of grammar as far as maybe, finding something that has to do with a preposition or things like that. So there is some education in there as well. That's a fun little thing to do. A few others that we have that are some small books. I do have these in person. So we have these little pocket guide books, and they're short little reads for your high school and above, I would suggest. So one of my favorite ones is the Pocket Guide to Social Issues. And just our teenagers are in a totally different world than what we were in. And so these are some good, quick answers for them. Some of them might be interested in UFOs and aliens and things. So there's one on this. And then if they have where they want to be able to answer questions logically and to have good conversations with their peers as well, this is a good one. Those, again, we have them. They're short, great little books to get for the time that you're taking for Christmas break.
Wonderful. And I love the pocket guides because they can take that on their trips if they're flying or if they're driving. They can take those easily and quiz each other. And with Meet the Chiefs, there is a quiz in there, isn't there? Isn't there
Yeah.
like a little game?
Yes. And then also we have, additional resources if you go to each of those individual product pages where they might point you to other resources that you could use with those as well.
Got it. Good deal. Well, so those are some great resources, and you can also ask great questions about other things you might be interested in at the Moms of Masterbooks Facebook page and in the community at the Masterbooks app. We recommend that you join those communities and get to know the other people who are doing exactly what you're doing, sacrificing for a really amazing eternal cause and joining us for our mission of ink on paper to impact or touch eternity. You are doing that. We want to partner with you, and we have so many other moms of Masterbooks who are doing the same thing. So it's a great place to be encouraged. It's a great place for you to get your questions answered and to even recommend the things that you've used in your home from Masterbooks that you would want to share with other people. So with the end of 2022 on our heels, I mean, man, I can't believe how fast this year has flown by. I wanted to ask you to encourage the families to celebrate their wins. I mean, y'all have been doing this for 12 months, and there have been some hard things, and you have probably walked through some really tough seasons, but you have also done some really good things and accomplished great things. And I wanted to see how you do that with your family, Rachel, and how you would encourage the other homeschool families to do the same.
Yeah, absolutely. The Bible talks to us about having those cornerstones, setting those rocks down, having foundations. And I know often as a mom, we get discouraged in the day to day, and we think we're not accomplishing much, or we're not seeing the big picture. And Satan loves to use that in our lives to discourage us, to keep us discouraged, because we're not going to share Christ with our children and with others in the way that we should at those times. So for this, I kind of, just started going back through my personal year with our family. 2022 has been a great year and a difficult year for us. A huge win of something that I personally, just with my life and what the Lord has done in my family, is my dad was personally diagnosed with colon cancer 3 years ago. And this year, my dad is now cancer free. The doctors are amazed. We're amazed. And so we're just praising the Lord. So that's like a huge win for our family that we're thinking of. And I know that's not necessarily pertaining to homeschool, but when as a mom, I want to look at those big encouraging things that I can show to my kids of look what the Lord has done for us.
Yes.
And then other, I have two daughters, and they both got engaged this year. So they were
Mhm.
engaged on the same night. So again, you pray for your children to find good, godly spouses to spend their lives with.
Yes.
And that is a huge prayer for many parents of, the future of their children. And so
Mhm.
this year, we were able to see that fulfilled and see what the Lord had for our children, for our
Yeah.
girls. And so that has been huge for us to welcome those two new children into the family. So this year
Mhm.
for Christmas, we not have 4 kids, but we have 6. Um,
Wow.
and they are all going to be here for Christmas this year.
Good.
So one daughter was married this summer, and then
Mhm.
so we do have one son-in-law already, and then the other daughter will be married in May. So again, just praising the Lord that they have found God's mate for them, a good godly men, and they're
Yes.
exactly what we prayed for them, and they love them as God created them, all the good
Mhm.
and the bad and the pretty.
Right.
That's important. And then we made a huge move again this year again, and so just thankful for the Lord's direction in that with our
Mhm.
family, for my children's attitudes with that. Thankful for masterbooks, definitely, as we made that move. It because of how masterbooks is set up, we were able to stop when we needed to stop, pack it all up, and then come here to the new home, unbox it, and get going again because it's so easy to follow. And my children were able to jump in on days without me when I wasn't able to be there because Masterbooks has made it so easy to follow. So definitely, I want to give that plug for
Yes.
Masterbooks and the homeschooling with making a big move. It was a huge help for our family with that. And again, those are just I could go on, but those are just some big things for us and our family that we are just praising the Lord for this year.
I love that, and I hope that it is encouraging for others to hear that you've had some very significant things happen in your life this year. Hopefully, it is inspiring you to remember the things that God has done for you and to keep praying for those things that Rachel has seen in her life with moves and marriages and healings. Those are things that God has done, and they're not everybody's story. Everybody doesn't get the same story and in the same time frames, but the Lord is so faithful, and you may have walked through something that you didn't expect, but you are still standing, and you are part of this community, and we are for you, and we are supplying the things that we can to help your faith be encouraged. And I would love to hear from you either in the comments or if you would rate the show. Let us know how you've been encouraged this year by Master Books. Was it in the teaching tips? Is it because your child grew in their faith in God? Is it because you and your family are now having devotions and what you've learned? We'd love to hear those things because it fuels our fire as well. We are behind the scenes trying to make sure you have what you need to grow in your relationship with God. And I love hearing how your family has grown, Rachel. And so we want to encourage everybody to share that in the app and in the Facebook group as well. So tell us about next year. How are you planning? Do you need a reset? What do families do who are looking back at 2022 and saying some things worked well, but some things really didn't? What do they do now? How would you encourage them?
Yes. Well, first, it's absolutely okay to evaluate and see what needs to be changed. It
Mhm.
doesn't mean it's a failure on your part by any means. Actually, it's an amazing thing for you to recognize that there's some things we can do differently.
Yeah.
And it's good also for our children to see us say, hey, maybe I didn't make the best decision here. Let's reevaluate this. And then I also think of the scripture, James 1:5, that tells us that if any of us lack wisdom, to
Mhm.
seek the Lord for that and ask Him that giveth to us, and ask in faith. So I would say that pray, ask God, hey, I need some wisdom in the decisions I need to make for this next school year,
Mhm.
and we need the Lord's direction in that because overall the goal above academics is that we are molding our children for Christ. And so definitely that would be my first step. Seek the Lord and find out what He would have you to do for the next school year. And then it's okay to reevaluate. And I'm saying those things because I know I've needed those things as a
Mhm.
mom who I tend to be that type A overachiever, type of person. And it's hard sometimes for people like me to admit that we have made some mistakes and we need to start over, and it's
Mhm.
okay. and and
Absolutely.
and recognize that God wants us to come to him and ask him
Mhm.
for help during those times. So that would be the first thing. And then, okay, so let's start with the four basics. Are your, even for planning for this next year, January, the rest of your school year, or even maybe you're already thinking about the 23-24 school year.
Right.
Even though I'm an overachiever, I'm not thinking about the 23-24 school year yet, but I know some of you are. And so start with the four basic subjects. Are they working? Is it that you need to back up? Maybe your child needs to back up a little bit. Maybe you need to review some things. Are they in the correct level? That's a
Mhm.
big thing. If you don't know, we do have placement guides for our language arts and math. I highly recommend those if you didn't start there.
Mhm.
Go back, and maybe I've had to do it before in the middle of the year, give a new new test, a new evaluation, and see that I've actually got them placed correctly. And it's okay to do that and back up, because again, you're not comparing with other students, other families. You are there to do what's best just for your child. So evaluate those four basic subjects. Maybe you chose a course and it's just not the right learning style or learning fit for your family. We have so many options that you could look at another course with masterbooks. And then
Mhm.
also within our courses, we have so many different ways to teach. We give many different types of projects and approaches, different fun things that they can do in the back of the math and the language arts. There's all those extra resources for you as the teacher. I recommend going, maybe you need to incorporate something there that you haven't done before. So
Mhm.
those would be my biggest tips, is just, it's okay, reevaluate and do what's best for your child and not compare to others.
Yes. And I want to just celebrate with you and everyone who's listening that homeschool is this beautiful journey of being able to shift,
Mhm.
reset, change. And if your children were in public school and they were struggling, the options would be so limited and perhaps very time consuming and expensive, in addition to them going to school, maybe having to do something after class, after school. You would have to take them someplace to be tutored. But no, you have option of making the adjustment and praying to the Lord, having the help of the Lord, having the help of our community. Anna was on last week, and she talked about the fact that even though she works for Masterbooks and knows the resources, when she got hit with a diagnosis of dyslexia for one of her children, she had to go to the other moms and say, "What do I do here?"
Mhm.
Because she was just kind of panicked and frozen and like, "I've never been here before." And so she was encouraged by others who were not panicked and who had been there before. So we want to encourage you that the help is available. The help is available on our platforms. It's available through customer service, and it's available from the Lord, which is the most beautiful gift we can ever imagine being given, our wonderful counselor, the one who is wisdom, who gives us wisdom. And I just pray that everyone has the wisdom of the Lord in guiding their family well in the coming year. And I wanna thank God for what he's done for Masterbooks, the wisdom he's given Masterbooks this year, and the wisdom he's given our leaders and the people that work with us, and the people who have written the curriculum. I mean, those are huge accomplishments. So speaking of writing curriculum, you have been working behind the scenes with all that you have had going on that you've told us about. You've been working with Kristen behind the scenes, developing the extension of language lessons for living education. Tell us about that.
Yes, I am working with Kristen on the middle school language lessons for living education. I am enjoying it. Of course, when I first was approached to do this, it was definitely the Lord bringing me totally out of my box.
Mhm.
I love teaching. I was a former high school English teacher for many, many years, taught junior high as well. And I love seeing children just get it and in different ways. And so I just never thought I would be writing a curriculum. So at first I was kind of, I don't know about this, but I knew that it was the Lord opening a door that he needed me to go through. And so here I am. I'm enjoying it. I'm excited to have this available for all of our Masterbooks family. Kristen she is brilliant always. And then I feel like I have the easy part of it with the grammar and the writing portions, composition portions. But she has such creative ideas. And so it's been wonderful and encouraging, challenging for me to work with her. I'm learning so much working with her behind the scenes, but I'm really excited to have this available and to even be a small part of it for our Masterbooks family.
Well, so are you working specifically on level 6, 7, 8? Six is done.
I'm working specifically on level 7 and 8, the
Okay.
middle school levels. And then there's another co-author with Kristen for the 9th and above levels. And we're hoping to release at the same, very similar, close to time, the 7th grade and the 9th grade levels. And so that is the goal. So really we're all three working together. And then Kristen, of course, is the primary glue that's holding us together and has done such an amazing job with all of the previous levels. Yes. And to help us keep on that track of what families are already used to. So you can be assured in that Kristen is working so well with us to keep it where your child will so easily transition from level 6 to level 7. And then again, they'll easily transition from level 8 to level 9 because we are all three working together, which I love how just amazing family the Lord gives us to be able to do that together. And we're on a common goal to help families and to help families who are trying to raise their children for the Lord.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for everything you have done over the years for the Masterbooks family, for the staff and the families who are relying on you to give them advice on how to handle different issues that come up for them, for their individual lives and families. I just appreciate how you are in the details. And some of us, me especially, those are not the details that are, my best fit, but they are for you because of your background as a homeschool mom of 4, as a teacher before you were a homeschool mom, as a Christian mother, as a pastor's wife. You just bring so much to the table, and I want to honor you and your gifts that you've brought to the Masterbooks team. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. It is truly my pleasure, honestly. That's got to work with Masterbooks and with all of the families. I am so, day by day, I'm just so thankful that the Lord allows me to do it.
Yeah, well, I really do appreciate it. And we appreciate each one of you joining the podcast, listening. This is a new adventure we've been doing since May. It's been a lot of fun. I hope it's really being helpful and giving you something to look forward to. We have so many things that we offer over on the app and in the Facebook group that will help you be connected to other moms who are loving Jesus, loving their families, and seeking his very best for their families. So we want to pray a blessing of his very greatest wisdom, that you would ask the right questions, that the Holy Spirit would give you the prayers to pray for this coming year, for your family, and that you would find your faith growing exponentially because he has met you in those questions. He has met you in your family, and you have those Ebenezer stones, and we'll have new ones at the end of 2023 to say, the Lord has been with me this far. So thanks for being on the podcast today, Rachel. Thanks for everybody for joining us. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for joining the Masterbooks podcast. This was fun, and we are really glad you were with us. We invite you to check out masterbooks.com. We have a big library of books that will feed the faith of your family. And hey, subscribe to our channel so you won't miss an episode. We'll see you next time.